It's the 106th minute of the World Cup final. Extra time. Two exhausted teams, running on fumes. The scoreboard still reads 0-0, exactly the way it has for nearly 2 full hours of football. And then, in a single strike, Ferran Torres changes everything. Spain becomes champions of the world for the second time. The ball crosses the line. For a fraction of a second, 80,000 people go completely silent, as if the entire stadium is holding one collective breath. And then the roar hits all at once. Confetti falls in golden sheets over a stadium that has just watched history repeat itself, 16 years after the last time this happened. Final score: Spain 1, Argentina 0, a second World Cup title. But if you only look at that scoreline, you're missing almost everything that actually happened. This is the story of how that single moment came to be. Because underneath every pass, every substitution, every minute of this tournament, something far older than football was quietly at work. 7 ancient laws, running beneath the surface the entire time. Weeks earlier, the tournament opens with expectations already sky high. Spain arrives as one of the outright favorites, deep talent across every line, a proven system built by head coach Luis de la Fuente, and a golden generation of players entering their peak years, including a teenage prodigy already carrying enormous expectations. But talent alone has broken plenty of tournament favorites before, and this tournament shows no early signs of being any different. Matchday 1, Group H, Spain against Cape Verde, a debutante nation making its first ever World Cup appearance, and nobody expected to cause serious trouble. 90 minutes pass. The scoreboard never moves. 0-0. The crowd came expecting fireworks from one of the tournament favorites. Instead, they got a disciplined, well-organized wall. For a team many pundits and bookmakers had already picked to lift the trophy months in advance, a draw against a first-time World Cup nation raises real, uncomfortable questions almost immediately. Is this actually the same team everyone was talking about before a ball was even kicked? But something shifts almost immediately. 4 days later, Spain returns to the field against Saudi Arabia, and this time, there's no hesitation in how they play. 4 goals. One emphatic, unmistakable response to every doubt raised after that first quiet, goalless night. The team that looked uncertain and hesitant against Cape Verde suddenly looks like a completely different team altogether, just days later. A tighter, more controlled win over Uruguay follows next. Just 1 goal, but 90 minutes of near-total command of the game from start to finish. Spain finishes the group stage on top of Group H, exactly where the favorites are supposed to finish. The knockout stage begins, and Austria falls 3-0. Simple, comfortable, almost a formality, the kind of result that quietly tells the rest of the tournament, pay attention. Then comes Portugal, a fierce, familiar continental rival with its own golden generation, and by far the toughest test Spain has faced so far. The match drags deep into stoppage time, still scoreless, both benches on their feet, both sets of players refusing to blink first. A substitute steps onto the field in the closing minutes of a tense, scoreless match. Mikel Merino. He barely has time to find his rhythm before he scores the only goal of the entire match, sending Spain through to the quarterfinals in the cruelest, most dramatic way the tournament has offered so far. The quarterfinal against Belgium follows an almost identical script, deadlocked at 1 apiece deep into the second half, with the clock working against Spain instead of for them. With under 2 minutes remaining in regulation time and the entire stadium bracing for penalties, Spain finally finds the breakthrough everyone had stopped expecting. Another late strike, another narrow, nerve-shredding survival. The pattern is starting to feel like far more than simple coincidence at this point. In the semi-final, against a dangerous French side, Spain finally gets to play with room to breathe for the first time in 3 matches, 2 goals, a clean, comfortable 2-0 win that looks almost nothing like the white-knuckle knockout matches that came directly before it. 5 matches down, one of the best defensive records left in the tournament, and underneath all of it a pattern already forming, one that no player, no coach has named out loud yet. Here's where this story stops being just football and starts being law. There's a set of 7 principles, ancient, largely forgotten outside a handful of philosophical traditions, and they map almost perfectly onto everything that just happened on that field. The first is mentalism. Everything begins as a thought before it ever becomes a result. After that opening draw against Cape Verde, the collective mindset of the entire Spanish squad had exactly one choice to make: spiral into doubt or recalibrate immediately. They recalibrated almost immediately, and the very next match wasn't just a win on paper. It was that internal mental reset, made completely, undeniably visible on the scoreboard. 4-0 in front of the entire watching world, just 4 days after the doubt began. The second law follows close behind: correspondence. As within, so without. The old teaching that whatever is happening on the inside of a person or a team eventually shows up on the outside, whether anyone consciously intends it to or not. Spain's defense conceded almost nothing across the entire tournament, a single goal in 5 matches. That kind of discipline doesn't stay contained on the inside. It shows up, match after match, as results the rest of the world can see. Goalkeeper Unai Simon set a new World Cup record for consecutive scoreless minutes, stretching across 2 entire tournaments, 4 years apart. Order maintained on the inside, order reflected right back on the outside. The same law, expressed twice in 2 different tournaments, by the same quiet discipline. Third, vibration. Nothing in this universe truly rests. Everything moves, everything oscillates, everything carries its own frequency, whether we consciously notice it or not, whether we can measure it or not. The energy around this team after that first draw was low, uncertain, almost apologetic. 4 days later, it had completely changed frequency, sharper, faster, louder, impossible to ignore. That shift in vibration didn't happen by accident, and it certainly didn't happen because of luck or good fortune. It happened because, somewhere inside that locker room, in ways nobody outside will ever fully see, the team made a collective decision about exactly which frequency it was going to hold onto for the rest of the tournament. Fourth, and this is the single axis the entire story turns on: polarity. Everything that exists sits somewhere on a spectrum, and what looks like 2 completely opposite outcomes are very often just the same thing, expressed at two different degrees of the same underlying intensity. Twice in this tournament, Spain stood on the losing edge of that exact spectrum. Against Portugal, deadlocked all the way into stoppage time. Against Belgium, tied deep into the second half, the clock working against them both times. Both times, instead of sliding toward the negative pole, toward early elimination, toward going home before the final, the team moved up the very same pole toward victory instead. Not a different outcome pulled from nowhere by chance. The exact same outcome, pushed all the way to its opposite extreme by sheer will. That's polarity in its purest, most literal form. Not luck reversing a bad night, but energy redirected along a single, unbroken line from one end of the spectrum to the other. Fifth, rhythm. Everything flows out, and everything eventually flows back in. Everything, a single match, an entire tournament, a whole career, carries its own tides, rising and falling in a pattern that's rarely visible until you look backward. Trace the whole tournament from the outside, and the pattern becomes obvious in hindsight. A low tide at kickoff against Cape Verde, a rising tide through the rest of the group stage, and a final surge that peaks at the very latest possible moment, minute 106 of the final itself. Spain didn't fight that rhythm, and they never tried to force it early, no matter how much pressure built around them. They rode it instead, patient through every low point of the tournament, and completely, ruthlessly decisive the exact instant the tide finally turned in their favor. 6. Cause and effect. Nothing in this tournament happened purely by chance or by luck. Every single visible effect traces back to a specific, identifiable cause, even in the moments when that cause is completely invisible from the outside looking in. A substitution in the 80th minute against Portugal. A tactical shift made at halftime against Belgium. Small, specific, deliberate decisions, and every one of them followed by its exact, direct effect on the scoreline. None of it was mysterious, and none of it was some kind of magic or destiny. It was mechanical, almost boringly so. Decision, then result, cause, then its exact effect, over and over again, every single time it mattered most, across 5 different knockout matches. 7th, and finally, gender, not male and female in the way that word is usually used, but the underlying balance between structure and adaptation, between long-term planning and in-the-moment intuition, present in absolutely everything that creates something new in this world. Head coach Luis de la Fuente built the structure, the system, the shape, the overall plan for the tournament, but it was real-time, in-game adaptation, substitutions made under pressure in the moment that ultimately decided 3 separate knockout matches. 7 laws. 1 tournament, none of them named out loud by a single player, a single coach, in a single post-match interview, not once, and yet every single one of them was visible the entire time if you simply knew exactly where to look for it. Which brings us back to the final itself, and to the 2 laws doing the heaviest lifting on that stage. Rhythm and polarity colliding at the absolute highest possible stakes a football match can carry. 90 minutes against Argentina ends scoreless. Both teams cautious, both teams clearly aware of exactly what's at stake. The rhythm that had carried the entire tournament, patient, then suddenly sudden, is unmistakably about to repeat itself one final time on the single biggest stage in the sport. Extra time begins under the stadium lights. The same tide that carried Spain past Portugal and then past Belgium starts rising again, almost exactly on schedule, as if the entire pattern of this tournament refuses to be broken now of all moments. Minute 106 of a match that has already lasted nearly 2 full hours. The exact same polarity that turned 2 separate knockout matches from loss into win reaches its final, highest stakes expression yet in front of the entire watching world. Ferran Torres receives the ball just outside the box. There's no hesitation in the movement, only the release of pressure that had been quietly building since the very first whistle of the tournament weeks earlier. The strike, the net rippling, the eruption of 80,000 voices at once. For a team that had spent 5 straight matches walking the razor's edge between early elimination and continued survival, one single polarity in one single instant resolves completely in their favor for the very last time this tournament will ever ask of them. Argentina pushes desperately, relentlessly, for an equalizer that simply never comes. The same defensive law that had held firm for 5 straight matches holds one final, decisive time exactly when it matters most, with the entire tournament on the line. The final whistle blows. Spain, champions of the world for the second time in 16 years, and for the second time in this team's living memory. A tournament that opened in near total silence, a scoreless draw against a debutante nation nobody had even circled on their calendar beforehand, closes in a roar loud enough to be heard well outside the stadium walls, echoing across an entire country. From doubt to total dominance, from a single point earned in the group stage to a trophy lifted in extra time, months later, every law was already there, quietly running the whole time. The scoreline just made it visible at last. That same rhythm, the exact one that carried Spain from a scoreless draw all the way to a World Cup trophy, is running right now in whatever you're waiting on. Your job search, your health, that relationship, that business, that goal that feels stuck in its own scoreless first half. Low tide, rising tide, same pattern every single time. Spain's players never once mentioned Hermetic Law in a single interview. They never had to. These laws don't require belief in order to operate, only enough attention to actually see them working. And here's the thing, you don't know which minute you're in right now in your own story. Spain didn't either, until it happened. So where are these same 7 laws already moving quietly in your life right now, completely unnamed? If something in this shifted for you while you were watching, type the all in the comments below. Let's see how many of us caught it. Share this with someone who's living through their own version of that scoreless first half right now. Still waiting, still uncertain, still quietly looking for any sign that the tide is finally about to turn in their favor, too. Subscribe, because a new law and a new key to understanding it arrives here every single day. The game ends, the law doesn't.